You gotta do vocal warm-ups.
Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm one of the letters of the three. I'm the D of the JAD. Podcast, you can plug in or unplug, it's up to you. You choose. We've been gone MIA 2 weeks. One, due to moi, because I just had some stuff to do and it was a snowstorm. And it's now spring. Welcome spring. And
Hello,
last week we weren't able to film as well because
Hey everybody, sorry
It's not the time yet, Joe. Go back.
No, that's right. That's
I was
the right
busy.
time.
I was somewhere else.
No, that was the right time.
No, you're gonna do me, then I'm here, and then
Okay.
It's me. It's
there
Jay.
we go. There we
Bam.
go.
How you guys doing? Well, listen,
He's back.
Aidan, you didn't cause us to not do a podcast for a week though.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So
I am
unfortunately, you
never
good
at fault.
attendance. It's taken, Oh,
I
you
could
gotta join the cool kids.
I could have done
You
both
gotta-
podcasts that we missed on my own,
That is true. That is true.
but
You
I
did miss
actively
too.
chose not to because I'm a chaotic neutral.
Ooh, there we go. We like that, folks.
Yeah.
Who else
Staying
is
on
a
my
chaotic
square.
neutral? The
I
character
actually
behind
don't
you
know
on the
that.
wall, Boba Fett? Or is he chaotic, like, evil? 'cause he shoots
I
people?
actually don't know what that means, Joe.
Chaotic neutral?
It just sounded right in the moment. Don't judge
No,
me.
that was completely right. No, come on, you must know the chart, right? You got all the different types.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know how to identify someone
Sure.
because there's
No,
a lot of grey areas.
There are a lot of gray, yeah. Unfortunately, life cannot be cubicalized into these little boxes, but it's fun to do, Yeah. It's a good little thought
But yes,
game.
I would say I'm chaotic neutral because I'm cheeky and I do like to create mischief, but I am a good person at heart, and I would
Right,
never
you create
do
victimless
anything
mischief.
malicious towards someone.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
speaking of,
wouldn't that make you more lawfully chaotic? Lawful? Wait.
No idea.
Yeah, chaotic lawful? I don't know.
No idea.
Either way, that's for the chart people to figure out. We're the podcast people. It's two different categories.
I also
two
don't know what
jobs.
my LIFF reading thing is either. You know that one?
what are you guys even?
I think it's called dyslexia. I don't know what you just said.
No, there's like a personality type, and it's just a bunch
Right.
of acronym, and everyone's like a different acronym.
I
based
think
on
I'm
these
like
personalities.
L9 or something. I don't know.
Right.
I got to do it again.
I'm D squared.
Doesn't work that way. Right. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that should have been the name of our podcast.
D
There's
squared.
only one of me.
Yeah, but there's
So
like
you're in
other
a square.
dimensions to you, like us.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're in squares. You guys are rectangles for me. I'm a square
Very true.
Sure.
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
screen.
I do have, my face is rectangular. It's a little long. It's not the longest face in the world, but it has length to it. I got a chin.
The longest face in the world is Adrian Brody.
Yeah. He's a contender at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm sure if
Michael
that
Phelps is
became a
pretty
real
close.
contest, there would be some
Ooh.
people coming out of the woodwork.
Just saying.
Michael Phelps is a
He
very
does,
good
doesn't
call. Michael
Yeah,
Phelps
Michael
is
Phelps.
overtaking Adrian Brody. Michael Phelps is now number one.
What?
He overtook him.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
He's in the lead.
He wasn't
He
a
swam right
contender?
past him.
Well, he's taking the lead.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a clear winner yet, but
Before we started the pod, we were talking.
anyway, yeah,
about-
we started. Wait, so I didn't get to what happened, but last week, wouldn't you know? Turns out going to Niagara Falls right when all of the restrictions were lifted was a bad idea. Who'd have thunk it?
Aidan
Yeah.
says right now.
That should tell you all you need to know. Anyone who's curious, it's made it a long ways, but didn't make it all the way. I wish I could have, but nope.
Don't
I
worry,
got the
you'll-
thing. I got the Rona. I got the thing that doesn't exist to some, that does exist but is nothing to others, and then that is a serious virus to us, I believe.
Mhm.
Unless either of you guys' viewpoints have changed. You're like, you know what? Now that Joe got it, I think it's not a big deal.
Actually, yeah, during the past 2 weeks,
Oh,
I'm
no.
now on team the virus never existed.
Oh no.
Masks are oppressive,
Um,
and
Oh my God.
Trump won the election. The votes
Right.
were rigged.
And your freedom's more important than other people's freedoms.
Yeah.
I really don't want
Take away
people
other people's
burning
rights
down
of
my
safety.
house.
Yeah. Get out
They'll
of
never
here.
burn down your penthouse. What are you on about?
Right. I know, they can't
You're
get you all the way up
badass.
there.
They know where I live.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams, so you're safe.
Actually.
So they say.
Actually.
So they
yeah.
say.
So Joe got the Rona.
That's the Rona,
Right
boys.
as
I gotta
everybody's
save myself.
forgetting about the Rona.
Yeah.
Joe gets it.
Listen, you guys, you could get a grasp of it, I guess, but nobody gets it like me. Yeah. Let's just say it like that. I get it.
Same.
Yeah, it was wild. There's not much
And
to
you were,
say
like,
as far as like the
that.
experiences. Oh,
You got,
although
like,
I will
food
say this.
poisoning just before that.
So
Sensitive.
I got hit with it, right? My girlfriend, asymptomatic. She didn't get hit. She pulled a Neo from the first Matrix, or the second, but not the latest one. No air pushes. It was more of like a side swipe. Yeah. She was one-handing it. But she just recently started getting
I was
mild
gonna say, did she
symptoms.
end up ever getting sick?
Oh, she had delayed symptoms, maybe.
Well, it makes me wonder, did she literally not have it at the same time as me and she just got it later? Was she like immune up until a point and then got it? I don't know.
You're in the same house, though.
I know. We're sharing pop together. It's like, how can we,
Viruses work
because she just figured, oh, I
Not
got
the
it.
pop.
We're sharing pop. Yeah. Why not go for a soda? Nobody hurts, they told us.
Okay, branching
You're dead
off.
wrong. Oh, no.
Small branch off. I started
Yeah.
watching this. It's like a Netflix. Okay, it's on Netflix. It's on Disney Plus. It's called the Dropout or the Drop Away. Something with drop.
Oh, the Dropout. Yeah.
The Dropout.
Amanda Seyfried?
Basically,
It's on Disney.
what I got from episode 1 is you can't really mimic people's like sickness. You can't really like. You gotta like. It's hard to kind of like know 100% always what's wrong with somebody, or like.
Oh, right. It's
Like,
a guess.
that's kind of what is I'm getting from the show so far.
Doctors are professional.
I can't really find the words I'm looking for right now, but basically,
No. No, I get the vibe of what you're saying.
it's just everybody's different essentially, so you can't diagnose everybody the same essentially. So it's like
You
I
can't
may
do it
have a
actors.
cold, you may have a cold, but it's like we have different colds, and your cold may last 10 times longer than mine, and mine may be 10 times worse, even though we have the same cold, and that's why it's very hard to I don't know. She's trying to make some products, so it's I guess eventually that's what this will be about. I don't really know too much about the character, so that's kind of a little interesting. Episode 1 was a little boring, but regardless, moving on back to the sickness.
Right,
She just has milder symptoms. What's wrong with that? Like,
no, nothing's wrong with that. I'm not jealous. I'm not enraged about it. No, of course not. No, but
right, exactly.
I don't despise her. There's no animosity about it. Yeah, I don't have any resentment. No.
Whoa.
Holy shit. No, but
on record.
Yeah. No, it's fine. No, honestly, I really wish that just nothing happened, because since it was delayed, like, should I not, I'm going to work, but should I have not? I don't know. No, because I passed the point of contagion, whatever
like,
the
how
term
many
is.
days? Like 5.
So I'm safe.
Contagion.
Well, like I got tested last Monday.
Okay.
Do you now that the masks have been lifted?
Right.
Thank God. I can't believe we have to wear a piece of cloth on our faces. Freedom. That was parody, everyone. That was satire.
Parody check.
Don't
cancel me. Where did you get a mic like that?
Do you, now that they lifted them here in Ontario, Canada?
Yeah.
Do you have to wear them at work anymore?
My work, they literally were thinking about having it being lifted, but then I showed up positive. So they said, because we even recently got one, we're gonna play it safe and just keep the mask mandate to the rest of the season.
More,
I'm like, oops, I just ball busted everyone. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, guys.
Maybe. I mean, it could be one of those things where like 2 weeks go by, no one's got any symptoms. The bosses will be like, all right, let's drop the masks.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's Nickelodeon. I assume they, it's not people
Ooh.
actually on the ground. So it's just some random person in New York that
Yeah.
just stamped some paper because they still use paper in their executive offices. And they're like, hand this out to everyone.
True.
Yeah. I assume it's one of those things. It's just like, so it's just someone who's never been here before, doesn't know.
Yeah.
Just kind of slap it down.
I think, speaking to my friends who work in schools, I think they still have to wear them in the school.
Yeah. Well,
even though you don't have to wear them in supermarkets and stores or anything. But I think in the school you still have to wear them.
Like, I feel like the timing of this was a little weird, It's like, I feel like it would make more sense if it was in June or something, the mask mandate went away. If it's related to warmer weather, summer, because that's when the count is the lowest.
Yeah, and everybody's outside more.
Yeah, there's just more vitamin D in the air. I don't know what it is. I think it is the warmer climate makes it harder for the virus to spread.
Right.
But and isn't there a new wave coming? Too?
Always.
There's always a new variant.
A dip,
it's just Super Omicron.
Yeah.
It's on its way, so we'll see what that does to us. But
I'm
immune for like at least the next few weeks.
Yeah. I don't know all the details. Because like any good
provider
informed person on the internet, you just read the headline and then you let your brain fill in the blanks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you reiterate it to other people.
Yeah.
And then that's how you
spread that information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just
South Korea has a super spike right now, super high cases.
Oh no.
And no one really knows why, because they have one of the highest populations of vaccinated, boosted, and mask-wearing people.
Right.
And I don't know if maybe that's where this new version's maybe creating some fear from. But the reason maybe why it's happening is because South Korea is an incredibly dense population.
Right. Everyone's sleeping on top of each other.
Yeah, it's incredibly packed together. It's just it's basically the peninsula is just like one big city, like one just giant city all the way, with like little patches of farmland and countryside in between, then city, little bits, city. So you can kind of see how and why it's harder to control it in somewhere like that, rather than here, where it's like everybody
if I
spread
get
out.
It doesn't necessarily mean you get it, Where
yeah, and like the whole entire country's spread out over the size of Europe.
Yeah,
which is insane because there's like 50 countries in Europe, but then like
just
Canada itself is bigger than Europe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we're bigger than the continent. Yeah.
It's very strange.
Well, actually, we'll see if the Ukraine gets inducted into the EU, then maybe it'll be as big as Canada. But I think as it stands now, Canada.
Oh right, yeah.
We'll
keep extending it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there, but it's interesting. I got a hypothesis. I'm thinking maybe a dense population. Sure, I guess that could maybe be it. But what if instead it's YouTubers from California like Logan Paul going over there and just spreading it to everyone, inventing some new variant and giving it to them?
Yeah. Though I believe they are super strict on who's been coming. Like we were here in Canada, they were like, you can only come in if you've got like work or like a special reason. I think they were pretty strict on people coming in still.
Well, I think we just loosened it. So
here,
once upon a time, it was like you got to do a PCR test, stuff like that. But yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good reason that would have kept it at bay. And then whatever spread it, must have been someone.
Yeah. Well, I had to get when I came, because I went back to England I want to say last year, but it's not last year anymore. It's 2 years, like almost 2 years. But 2020, I went back to England for a little bit, and then I came back again. And to come back, Joe, I had to get special permission from the government to come back.
You needed Trudeau. to go on a call
because
with
the
you, and
country
like
was so locked down. We
he
had
just
to get
stared
special
at you and
permission.
squinted and was like, I don't know about this one,
He
guys.
had to go get some special stuff signed, and it had to be witnessed by. Do you remember?
That's so weird.
He had to get this like not a lawyer, but like I can't remember what she was. Like she had to witness it, all this paperwork, just so I could just re-enter the country, because they were like, no one can come in, no tourists, no anything. You had to.
Damn,
but
Derron, you're
now,
fighting for it over here. It's beautiful.
They they just lifted with the mask mandate. They lifted the anyone can come in now kind of thing.
Yeah. The restrictions. Huh. Well, all we can do now is just kind of sit in our hands as far as Ontario goes and see if case counts go up dramatically, spike like South Korea, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Will it happen? Won't it happen? I don't know. All I know is that.
Probably will.
Oh, there was something I was actually going to say, so now I just get to tie them both together. As far as doctors guessing and like there not being the same thing for everyone, I looked up how long I'm immune for out of curiosity. I knew it'd be like a generalization, but apparently once you get COVID, you are immune to COVID for either 3 months or up to 5 years. I'm like, what the fuck kind of general? What is that? 3 months to 5 years? That's such a wide bracket.
Especially
you guys
since
just don't know.
It's
might
not
as
been
well say,
around
we don't
for
know.
5 years.
Might as well say 1 day to forever. Like,
yeah,
it's so random. Like, just don't give us any estimate then. Like, what is that estimate?
That's stupid.
It's so broad. Yeah. So I'm gonna assume 3 months max. And even then, it's like, you know, as soon as I'm available to get a booster, I'll just get it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then get the fever again and all that fun crap. Yeah. I'm starting to get addicted to getting needles. I'm like the opposite of Derron. I'm itching for it now. You know?
Oh my God.
Sam's watching Big Brother right now, and one of the Big Brother groups has like a secret sign where they go like this, and I forget what it's supposed to mean. They're like keep their veins are ice cold, and I'm like, what? That just looks like you're signifying doing heroin. I'm like, that doesn't look like
It's a TikTok thing,
veins.
Joe. It's a TikTok thing.
It's a TikTok thing. Oh,
I've got ice in my veins. I'm too cool, Joe. I'm so cool. I've got ice in my veins.
That just looks like heroin. Come on.
Yeah.
These kids. They were probably tricked by their older brothers who do heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like the Gen Z kids, they don't do drugs. Right. They're way above that.
Or they do all the drugs. We don't know.
Nah.
We're not them.
Nah.
They might just not talk about
drugs. Do they do drugs on Euphoria?
They do. Yeah, they do drugs.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh. But that's just a dramatization. Euphoria was written by a millennial.
Yeah, but kids do what they watch, so it's like.
That's true.
They're not going to watch that and then not.
Instead of COVID number spikes, it's going to be heroin number spikes. Go on.
STDs.
Do they do heroin on
STDs?
That show?
I don't know. I think it's mostly painkillers and stuff, but there's got to be needles somewhere. I don't know.
Just saying that's just the normal stuff.
Yeah, that's just the whatever, you know.
Every like edgy teenage show like that, somebody's got to do heroin at one point because they've got to get the spoon out and stuff. They always have to make it look, it's so edgy and like. Ooh.
Right, it's a dirty mat in a rundown apartment that's condemned, and they're just sitting on the dirty mat in their underwear, just boiling the spoon. Yeah. Classic. Yeah, I'd be the kind of person that'd be like sitting there, just kind of hanging out with them, being like, "Yo, you guys got a dog that just lives in this building? That's awesome." Start playing with him and stuff.
I'm gonna play with the dog while you guys have sex and do drugs. I gotta play with the dog.
I'm gonna go play with the dog. Oh, you guys have a baby here? Aw. Yeah, I'll play with your baby.
I'll take it off your hands for a little bit.
Usually there's always a baby there.
There's always a baby. Yeah.
There's always a crack baby there.
Train spotting. Tragic.
Yeah. I don't like that movie.
No, you don't like it?
No.
Is it difficult for you to understand what they're saying because they have a Scottish accent?
No.
Okay.
No. No. But I just kicked something on my foot. I don't like movies. Yeah. Guys, we're on to the we're transitioning to a movie talk of the podcast now.
Man, that's how you do it.
Okay.
If you wanted more COVID, go back to previous episodes.
Please rewind to.
I don't like movies where the heroes. Oh no, sorry, not the heroes. The protagonists aren't good people.
Right.
And Trainspotting is one where they're not good people. They're junkies, and of course, addicts. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. It means
It's
they
the
need help.
actions they perform outside of the drugs. They steal. They hurt people. They
Yes, and Ewan McGregor's character, not Ewan McGregor the actor, but his character dates a minor in that movie.
Oh, does more than date.
Yeah. And then the rest of them are just doing heroin, and I don't like when it's like, oh, here are the main characters, because I'm an empath where I will put myself into a character when I'm watching. I want to be the main character.
It's disgusting to be like, oh, these people.
So when it's someone who's like a druggie who's swimming in their own shit and stuff, I'm like, I can't relate to this person. I don't want to be this person. I don't know. So does that movie? Yeah. There's the Rob Zombie trilogy where it's like the Devil's Rejects people.
Yeah, no, I didn't even touch that movie with a 10-foot pole. I was like, this seems so stupid. Yeah, because
it's like, oh, they're criminals, like Bonnie and Clyde and all those, where it's like the criminals, but you're gonna root for them. Why? They're still murdering people and they're robbing people, and just because
you're waiting for like the camera to switch to like a cop.
I don't want to root for them. I'm rooting for the cops to stop them.
Liam Neeson movies. He plays a lot of characters like that.
Liam Neeson's usually like, yes, there was that movie the Honest Thief, where it was like, I'm only stealing because the system stole from me. I'm like, no, you're still robbing from banks, and you blew up a house and you tried to kill a police officer. No,
but the police officer was corrupt.
He was, and that's how they tried to justify it.
And he's like, you killed my friend, and he's like, wrong, and just headbutts the guy.
Yeah.
I'm a good guy.
So any of those movies, Joe, where it's like, oh well, the bad people, but then the main characters. No, I'm not down.
Right, Orange is the New Black.
He's not happy.
I saw like half an episode of that, and I was like, this person's such a fucking asshole. I was like, I hate this. I don't enjoy what I'm looking at.
Right.
So I feel like I must have
the
terminal condition you have, but I don't know if it's as severe. But I do get it, and I think one of the harshest like ways that I got that was this movie called Kids, which I do not recommend.
Oh, I know of it. Never seen it.
Teenagers in New York just spreading AIDS. And through ways that are disgusting, and with people even younger than them, even though you're watching teenagers, there's ones even younger, and it's just unconsensual sexual acts happening, and it's just like,
and the actors are like borderline.
The actors are actual teenagers.
Yeah, but aren't they like borderline, like?
Well, they don't explicitly show anything that would make the movie illegal to watch, but it is implied heavily. The way that they act upon each other is extremely suggestive and just disgusting. And I was recommended that movie. I watched it when I was 19. I was recommended to it from a guy who was like 15, 20 years older than me. He's like, yo, it's a great movie. You got to watch it.
Oh, it's
and then after that, I was
like, house cinema. You love it.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy who recommended me this movie? Like, should I call the police? What the fuck? It's like a test. Like, if you're a psychopath, you enjoy this movie. I don't know. But
I've never seen that one, but it reminds me of, there was what's the director called? Is it Gus Van Sant? Is he like an art house director? No, not Gus Van Sant.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound right.
But what are you thinking of?
I think it was French.
There's a French guy.
Or French American, and it was called Love, Love.
Yes, yeah. I don't know who that guy is.
Hello.
It had sex scenes that were real sex.
Real sex?
So rather than actors just dry humping each other, it was actual, both actors agreed that they would do full penetration.
Yeah, which at that point is pornography. What defines pornography is being able to explicitly see sexual intercourse, and that's what that movie did.
Yep, and whoever this director was decided, get ready for this, guys, that he would include in this movie that was 3D,
yeah,
a shot of an erect penis ejaculating towards the camera.
There we go. And he was filming it, and his mouth was open, and
they say cinema is dead.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, I forget the name of that director, but yeah, he made many other movies since then. He's a contrarian. He's like the guy who made Antichrist. He's just known for being an edgelord.
Oh, is it the same guy then?
No, it's not the same guy.
Oh,
No, it's a different
okay.
guy. Different guy. That guy's German. This guy is French. He made Love.
Antichrist guy did Nymphomaniac.
Yeah, he made Nymphomaniac.
Yes,
and that was the
which
check.
for that one they had Shia LaBeouf, but they CGI'd a porn star's genitals onto Shia LaBeouf, right? Is that what they did?
Well, they do. He does show nudity, and he said that he did, but he said that he didn't have sex on screen, and we do see penetration in that movie. It's a lot less than in the movie Love. The movie Love is literally just a porn all the way through. There's just like one shot that lasts for like a second of like seeing penetration.
Right.
But the director said that it wasn't Shia. They had stunt doubles have actual sex because it's a close-up of the junk doing the thing. And so it's like, I guess that's believable because it was like a super close-up. So that is when you would
and unless you've seen Shia's LaBeouf.
So people now have to be able to analyze his butt with this guy's butt.
But isn't
if you've seen Shia's LaBeouf,
Shia was deeply traumatized after that movie, and that's what made him do that whole paper bag over his head, saying "I'm not famous anymore," and become a masochist and have people like hit him with hammers and shit. Whatever that weird art project was he did. He lost his mind after that movie. So something tells me maybe that was him. I don't know. Or not, but you know, all we know is that he lost his mind.
He's a bit of an odd guy, isn't he?
Yeah. It wasn't exactly he was perfect in that movie. It's like it was. He did have a troubled childhood, and then since then he has yet to have a redemption arc because he's still currently kind of a bad person doing bad stuff. Like he's said a lot of mean things, and he's been to jail for being a rude boy. So
a rude boy. Tell Rihanna.
Well, just public indecency and being drunk and getting in fights and stuff. Yeah,
I remember the movie probably came out around the same time as Nymphomaniac, but it was a World War II tank movie called Fury.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that was around the same time. Fury's great. I love Fury.
But apparently he went full method in that. And because they were meant to be in World War II, and they spend all their time in a tank. So he decided he wasn't going to shower, and he decided his character was going to have a missing tooth, so he pulled out himself. You know, just like shit like that. And
he's pulled a Jared Leto on us.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt
stuff that doesn't actually make your performance better. It just weirds everyone else out around you.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt was the lead, and I think Brad had to like pull him to the side and be like, "Dude, like,
stop."
Go
it's
shower.
Like, I'm acting better than you right now. And not
like, just go take a shower.
It doesn't work. yeah.
So weird. So
creepy.
Yeah. Method acting, it's a myth. Or it's not a myth, but that's not how you do it. That's just being an exhibitionist. Method acting is like Daniel Day-Lewis. He doesn't not shower. He just stays in character throughout the day rather than stopping.
The only time I think it's ever paid off for him is in There Will Be Blood, because you cannot tell me that Daniel Plainview in There Will Be Blood is not a real person that showed up on set and or the filmmakers went back in time and filmed him. That is not Daniel Day-Lewis. That is not an actor. That is a real person.
And who drank someone's milkshake.
Honestly, Joe, that's in my top 10 favorite movies, and every time I watch that, I go, "How is that Daniel Day-Lewis? How is that an actor? It's incredible. Like, it's magnificent."
I only watched it once, and I feel like I need to watch it again. I don't know if I feel like because he's such a maniac and bad person, I can't enjoy the movie, but I can appreciate how good his acting is.
Oh my god, I just broke my rule then.
No, that's okay. There can be exceptions to things, especially because you're so memorized by the acting that you look past.
I'm mesmerized by the acting. Also, the score is really good, and the directing / cinematography is really good because it's Paul Thomas Anderson, and it's the Skyfall cinematography, the one who Roger Deakins.
Oh yeah,
I think it's Roger Deakins. So it's like a beautiful looking film, and the music's really good.
And his acting and that mustache. He's British, right? He's a British
Yes.
actor.
No, who knows? Because he's
After that
such
movie,
a
I think he
chameleon.
converted somehow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
But yeah,
he's
I mean,
only
terrible
ever
person.
actually looked like himself in that latest one, Phantom Thread. I
Never
feel like
saw
he
that.
literally hasn't looked like whatever his actual face is in like decades, like 20 years. Like he's just disappeared
not
as a human.
since The Last of the Mohicans was
Right.
probably
Yeah.
in the 90s the last time that he was just himself with
Last
long
of the
hair.
Mohicans.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, he just disappeared into every role and he never came back.
Yeah.
Wild.
But he's also one of those actors where apparently he's retired now, right? He's done enough. He's like, I'm
I
good.
think so. Phantom Thread, I think he said was.
He made like 10 movies, couple of million. He's like, I'm done. But he was one of those actors where, and maybe you could think of some other examples, but there are some actors you don't hear from for ages. Like it'll go by 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. You won't
or
see
you wonder
them.
what's wrong.
And then they appear with a movie. It's the best thing you've ever seen, the best acting you've ever seen, and then they'll disappear again for 10 years, and then they'll come back. Incredible.
I'd like to say Nick Cage, but he's always around every year because of all of his debts.
Yeah.
Because
I wouldn't say Nick Cage comes back and it's the most incredible thing ever.
Well, he did have a stint for a while there. Well, stint's not the right word, but he had a moment of time where he was just busting out bangers. Like he did Joe, he did Mandy. I feel like
he had that
Pig is great.
resurgence.
Recently watched Pig, amazing. So it's like he went through something where in the 2000s he was still being corny, but then like he made a shift somewhere into drama and just popped off. And then in between each good movie, he's making just like 5 trash movies. So it's very, he didn't stop doing that, but like,
he's still got to pay bills, so it's like, fine, I'll do it. Yeah. I kind of wish Liam Neeson would do that because all his movies are kind of trashy these days.
Yeah,
and I kind of wish he would just pump the brakes.
Good version of what Bruce Willis does, where it's like he'll just do any random action movie thing, but he's at least like trying to be selective. He's not saying yes to anything. He's just saying yes to like things that seem commercially acceptable or something that'll make money.
Things he's used to doing, like car chases, running after people, proving innocence
with revenge in their heart. Yeah, all that classic jazz. Joaquin Phoenix, he's not so much someone that disappeared and makes great roles. He does do great acting, and I feel like he's someone else too that like. I guess he was always doing drama, but like he really started to hit his stride in the 2010s, and he's just been taken off since then.
No, you're right, because it's not around like constantly. It's like there'll be a Joaquin Phoenix project every 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, and then or he'll do like smaller roles where he's not the protagonist.
Yeah, because like the opposite would be The Rock or Ryan Reynolds, who make 2 or 3 movies a year.
It's a regular working job for them. It's not an artistic project they're pursuing. Yeah.
Liam Neeson, he probably makes 2 movies a year. I tell you who's starting to slip down that slope, Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah, I'd say.
Like there's regular Tom Hanks movies coming out now, and it's like,
whether or not it's good, it's just something he does. Yeah. He was great in Captain Phillips. I think that was his last great movie. I'm trying to think if there was something else. I didn't see The Bridge of Spies, so I don't know if he's good in that.
Didn't see that
either.
Yeah.
But he was great as Captain Phillips.
Forrest Gump.
Right, Forrest Gump.
Well, I love
last movie I've seen from him.
The Terminal. You've seen The Terminal?
Terminal, yeah.
That's a great one. Castaway.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's big in the 90s. Tom Hanks owned the 90s.
Yeah, he owned the 90s/2000s. I guess he's still doing Woody. So Toy Story 4, was that his last 3 projects?
That's a good movie. Excuse me. Speaking of the 90s, except not really the 90s, 2002, Joe.
Ooh,
do you remember the year 2002? I was 10 years old.
Ooh, how old was I? I was 9.
9, you were.
Damn. Hurts to hear out loud.
You're 11.
Right, there we go. We made it.
2002. A movie comes out starring Steve Martin, Hilary Duff, Ashton Kutcher, Tom Welling.
What?
Who else was in that movie?
Yeah.
But there's more than 12 people in that movie.
Is it like a rom-com?
Yes. There was more than 12 people
Valentine's Day
in that
something
movie.
Like that.
12.
Oh, Cheaper by the
Mila
Dozen.
Kunis.
Cheaper by the
Ashton
dozen.
Kutcher's in that movie?
Oh.
Ashton Kutcher's the boyfriend of the eldest daughter in the movie.
Oh, so
And
he
the
plays like
kids-
some random douche then.
Yeah,
Oh
he's a
my God.
douchebag. And the kids
so weird.
bank on him
Yeah.
because they don't like him because he's a douchebag. And
They
they
put steak in his pants.
They put steak in his pants and the dog chases him and all the dogs in the
That
neighborhood.
dog's so cute too.
Yeah,
It's just like so big and like cute.
it's like a big American bulldog or something.
That movie is like, so funny when you
That movie is
compare it to this.
classic, hilarious. D, what did we watch at the weekend?
That was it. Cheaper by the dozen.
The remake.
Yeah.
Oh
On-
no!
It's horrible.
It was it good or bad?
It's horrible.
Oh no!
Wasn't good, Joe.
They stained another
Stained
classic.
my-
God damn it! Was it Disney? Yeah,
Yeah.
of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course it was Disney. They can't help but ruin anything they own. They've become Bruce Willis. They just tarnish their own legacy.
Oh my gosh.
They self-tarnish.
The views of Joe do not reflect the rest of our views.
What are you
Disney,
talking about, Disney?
I am available for hire. The views are
there
not
you go.
representative of all members of the podcast.
Exactly.
Joe.
All hail China.
Don't hail Joe.
Yeah, that's right. We support LGBTQ, but only in the Western world, and then we remove all the scenes.
Joe, stop!
Excuse me.
We support Western? No, I
Um,
think Disney doesn't.
So they do great with Marvel and Star Wars.
Right.
It was starring
Let's count how many times Aidan says
Zach Braff from Scrubs. Remember Zach
Okay.
Braff from Scrubs?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I think I heard about this. He's the dad, right?
He's the dad. And
Who's the mom?
Who's the mum, D? What's she called?
Gabrielle Union. Why are you asking me?
Oh, I don't
'Cause
know.
I forgot.
Okay,
Because I'm
so
black.
no one in particular.
It's because you're black and I've forgotten.
It's Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union from Bring It On.
Well, I guess. She's
She's
been
in
in
Bring It
other things.
That movie's from a while ago, but if it works,
That
it works.
movie's
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
long
it's
I've seen
just
the movie,
naming
so,
old
okay, she's
films.
one of those. Yeah.
And she was like 20 in it or something. Yeah. Anyway.
A teenager.
Those are the only people you'll know in it, probably.
Right.
This time it's a mixed family,
Right. Yeah.
if that is the term. I don't know.
It's not. You're not just looking
Mixed
at
family.
just white. Just
Yes.
white. The movie. Christian America. The movie.
And that's not the problem with the movie. The problem with
The new one's
movie-
diverse. I wouldn't call that a problem.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with the wokeness. That's fine. Though there
It's
was
not
one
even
moment-
woke if it's just characters that are like,
Yeah. There was a
descendants
moment
of-
though where we both
Well,
turned
it's
to each
two-
other and
It's
rolled
two
our eyes.
separate families. It's two separate families coming together. That's the difference. It's one black
okay.
family and a white family coming together to be one family, and then they have interracial twins. I think they only have
And then
two.
the kids start fucking because they're
No.
not related.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there is an inappropriate joke at one point where one of the kids.
It's like,
Sees-
well, we're not blood related, so we could bang.
Yeah. Anyway,
Start-
no,
Would
the
that be
problem.
weird? Would that be weird?
What?
Well,
It's like we're
there's
not really family. We're not really
That's
family.
actually a good question.
They were
I feel
raised
like-
together though.
Not
well,
the
here's
oldest
thing.
one.
If
oldest
if
one
the-
wasn't
if
raised
the
with
oldest
them.
siblings are teenagers and they've
Yeah.
never met before.
Yeah.
No, hang
many
on.
people-
No, because
Yeah.
No, because the twins were at least 10 years old.
Okay, but I'm talking about if it was just in general. Like, we're not going to refer to two little kids. We're talking the oldest of.
No,
like,
I'm
six.
saying I'm saying they
Yeah.
were raised together, and you're saying not the oldest one. But if the
Well,
twins
the
are at
oldest
least,
one isn't.
if
okay,
the
well,
twins are at
fine.
least 10 years old, and the
Fine.
oldest kid is 17,
Yeah.
then
So,
that's still
makes
10 years of
8%.
her life that she's been raised with
But
all these other siblings.
Still, I'm just trying to
That-
make a point of like
This is a hot topic. I will say
just in general, like.
yeah, there's a movie called Mr. Nobody with Jared Leto. It came out before
Uh-huh.
he like became a super douche. Man, I haven't seen
the
it.
views
since
of the
his-
views of Jared Leto are not shared by
Oh,
the rest
there
of
we
the
go.
podcast.
But I'm
Shared by
available
Joe.
for
I think I
Morbius
saw a movie
too.
too.
All
I
right.
think it's like Secret Stranger. I
But
don't know.
in that movie, not him, but an actor who's playing like teenage him, has a crush on this girl, but then his mom and the girl's dad, they get hitched. So now it's his stepsister, which is the start of any great porno. And then so they start having a romantic relationship, and then the parents are like disgusted. They're like, "She's your sister." He's like, "Shut up, we're in love. Fuck you guys. You guys get a divorce and we'll be together." And it creates this big thing. And then I'm watching the movie, being like, "Hey, sounds like a fun time, yeah." But then I was watching it with a friend Alex, and he's like, "That's disgusting. You think that's okay?" I'm like, "Well, they're teenagers, and they weren't raised together." I think the raised together is the big split. Where if they were like step siblings, and that relationship started when they were like 8 years old, and then 10 years pass, and the hormones start happening, and then they go for it, then that's weird.
That's different. Then that's weird. But it's
yeah,
just
I'm saying
my
they gotta
point.
just
that was my
they gotta
point.
not know each other.
In the one situation that I was referring to was essentially like, because they're a mixed family, these kids would have already been older, and then they come together. Like, there was a movie that I saw, I think it's A Simple Favor, with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. I think it's in this movie. I don't know if it's in this movie, but I swear it's a movie with Anna Kendrick. And she is talking about a situation with how she had sex with her brother, and it's just like super vague. And you hear that, you're like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then it goes back. It goes back, and it reveals that like she met this guy. They sparked off, boom, da da da, and then he like shows up at like the family dinner, because it's like the mom's just introducing the father.
Oh sure.
They just came into town. They just happened to have met.
Then so that's just awkward. It's like,
it's like now they're married. Now the mom and dad are married. Now we're brother and sister. It's like, not really. You guys are grown adults. Like, come on.
Yeah, we when
it's like you're not really brother and sister when you say it like that. Yeah, but it's like,
it's like really what people hear is like Star Wars, brother and sister. Kissing your sibling to make another guy jealous.
Yeah. And even they weren't raised together, but they're blood related.
But they were blood related, so that's.
But they weren't raised together.
That's how you get a royal family.
And another example is in the CW's The Flash.
Never seen it.
The Flash, Barry Allen is maybe 10 years old when his parents his mum dies and his dad gets to blame, so his dad goes to prison. So he's like an orphan technically, and he gets raised by the family friend, and the family friends they have a daughter who's the same age as Barry.
Oh boy.
So they grow up together.
Yeah.
And then in their 20s they start dating.
Oh yeah, so that's an interesting one, because they were never relatives. He was just the household he lived in. They were his guardians, so they never
guardians.
Yeah,
but
so
they
not
kind of. Scenario. But it's weird because he considers the dad of the guardianship dad as his like dad, because he helped raise him for like 12 years.
Right. Yeah.
But he doesn't consider the girl his sister because he wants to poke her.
So, he's got another agenda.
They're not actually related, though.
They're not. No, they're not related.
Yeah, but that is interesting. For like 10 years to pass, being raised as a kid with
raised together family. As kids.
Because like you can like grow up with someone, and then there's like scenarios like in rom-coms and stuff where it's like a neighbor, the classmate. That's like the best example of like the difference between how close it is to where it's like you should consider that person like a sibling, so it's like in the same household. That's pretty damn close. But it's fair game as far as that goes. Yeah, it's like, listen, you guys want to do whatever you want to do, go ahead.
It's teeter-totty. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's
teeter-totty. Yeah,
it sounds gross.
It's tater-totters.
You say it out loud.
Get your tater-tots.
Back to the movie. There's a scene where one of the elder sisters comes down in this like really short skirt, and it's like in slow motion
to go meet a boy.
Oh boy!
And then she leaves, and then like one of the brothers is like, "Yo, who's the chick outside with the rump and booty?"
Oh boy! Yeah, there's no taking those words back.
Nobody was saying that in the it's just the movie was just bad, like all around just bad.
Bad
horrible movie. And like what made the original one good was Steve Martin. Like is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
He made it really good for like adults. I mean, like just made it like an all around great comedy. This one was just like trying way too hard, pushing stupid shit in your face, forcing stuff that doesn't need to be forced. We don't need an interracial family. We've seen it. We've done it. We don't care. I'm black and I'm saying this. We don't care. It's just too
Wait,
much.
then what if we make them all black or all Asian?
Fine, make them all black and have
Right,
like
right.
one or two of them white. So it's like the one or two of them that are white understand. It's like it's a little harder for them instead of
Yeah.
it being like, it's still hard for
We
the
should
black
pull a
family
Brangelina
moving in.
and they
It's so
adopt
hard
a
for the
different
black
child
family
from
moving
every
in.
nation.
It's like
Mhm.
white kids they're not even dealing with anything. They're just like, oh, we're a mixed family now. So now all they're doing is just talking about how Gabrielle Union's black, her kids are black, the family's now moving into a white neighborhood. So it's like, but what about the white kids? Oh, the one white kid is in a wheelchair. It's like, okay, that's you know what I mean? It's just so like, ugh, we don't care.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seemed like
White people don't care about this either.
Oh no, nobody cares.
Nobody
There's not a
cares.
single demographic that enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, it's like nobody cares about this.
Nobody
Kids
It
don't
asked
does
for
care.
them
make
to
you
make a remake.
wonder
I think
when
that's
they
the
make
biggest.
these like woke storylines.
It's
It makes you
horrible.
wonder which executive at the top of in these production companies, like what do they think the angle is? Or, like, who are they targeting with the wokeness? Are they making it woke so that
Superficially, I feel like they do it for a profit
people can
margin.
watch it and go, see, this is how I think this movie is me? Or are they making it woke so that people who are non-woke, who might be racist or homophobic, watch it and then they change their minds and go,
And they
oh,
go,
wow,
damn,
I can't believe I'm
man.
racist. I shouldn't be racist. Like, who are they making it
No.
Turns
for?
out, yeah, exactly.
That's what I don't
They're making it for
understand.
no one. It's like a puppet.
It's almost like they like
paper
want
mache.
people to constantly be in these stereotypes. So it's like they want people to constantly think if a black person moves into a neighborhood, they're going to be loud. So they constantly push that in your face subconsciously. So like,
Wait, do they do that in the movie?
Yeah. So it's like
Oh,
as a young
shit.
kid watching that,
no.
watching that, you would think, okay, if black people move into the neighborhood, they're going to be loud.
Oh
So it's like you're
man, that's not good. They're
subconsciously.
creating stereotypes.
I would think
Oh
that you're
shit. So
subconsciously like
Disney's
because
kind of pushing the
when
racist
I'm
agenda.
watching it as a black person, I'm just thinking this isn't relating to me in any way.
Right,
This is just
yeah.
showing my everyday life, which is fine. But probably 90% of the audience is going to be probably white. Maybe not
Right.
because now it's half black. So now it's bringing in another audience where it's like there's now a black audience can be watching.
But then also,
what is
that
that
shouldn't be
benefiting?
how movies work. You shouldn't only,
But that's like
demographics
kind
shouldn't
of
be
what they're trying
dependent
to do,
on.
right? So they're
Yeah,
trying to do it.
yeah,
And it's like the original movie didn't care about race and everybody just watched the movie.
yeah. It was unrelated. The topics they covered were
Yeah.
family. You know who has family? Every race. It's not related to race.
Vin Diesel.
Family,
Exactly.
He's got family.
Family's like music. It's universal. Doesn't matter what language
Yeah.
you speak. Everyone's got family.
It's like it should be like family's not about the color of your skin and all this stuff. It was just super like pushing woke stuff in your face over and over again. It's like
They
we get it.
jumped into the stereotypes. Yeah,
We get
so
it.
that's
The family is half black, half white. We get it. We get it. It's like
would have been great if they literally didn't talk about it. They didn't even mention it.
That's the one thing that I always think is the best type is when
Like, it's just a family.
when you know subconsciously it's just told through the story. It doesn't have to push things in your face and like tell you this is this.
Yeah, like there's visual representation. It's like you have a biracial family, and then that's it. And then everyone just talks to each other.
It's like,
and then
how
it's
could
about
this
family. The
be
topic
so
is
like as soon as they move in, right? A police officer pulls up and he's like,
shit.
to Gabrielle, as soon as they move in, they're not even like unpacked, nothing. A white officer comes up, he's like, to Gabrielle Union, which she's black.
Yeah.
So we won't be making any. Want to just let you know that the times are curfews of like 10 p.m. So don't be loud.
What the fuck? Yeah, I don't think cops do that.
And then like Gabrielle's like,
well, he's like a neighborhood mall cop kind of.
do you say this to everybody? Do you say this to everybody? He goes,
yeah.
And then like somebody else comes in. Oh yeah, her husband, who's white, comes in, and he goes, "Oh, is there a problem?" And then now that he sees the husband's white, it's like problems resolved. Oh, pardon me, sorry for saying that. It's like that's the scene done.
Right. Some psycho.
There was another scene that really made us roll our eyes, which was Gabrielle Union took her kids to the communal. So they move into a really rich kind of closed gated community, and it's all white people. And there's a shared pool.
I haven't seen that before.
Right. And so Gabrielle Union takes two of her kids to the pool.
Right.
And the two kids she takes are the two biracial kids.
Yeah.
And this white woman comes over to Gabrielle Union, and she's like, "Oh, how long have you been a nanny for?"
Oh, fuck.
Implying that because she's black, those can't be your kids. Except they're biracial.
It's not even
kids.
the white kids. Yeah.
It's like,
That's
well,
so
who
weird.
else? Whose kids could they else be? Why would you assume
Who
she's a
else's kids
nanny?
would they be?
Yeah, that's a weird assumption. Yeah.
Just so that they could say that, so that they can say like assume like it's like the idea is we want to basically point out that white women make assumptions of black women in expensive or high society environments, where it's like because she's in an area where it's like it's a predominantly white privileged area and the kids are somewhat mixed, that those kids can not possibly be hers and she has to possibly be the name.
Which, yeah, it's like, no, it's like, that makes no sense. It's like if it was the white kids, then it's like,
what was funny
even then you'd say, are those your kids? Like, you guys go to the pool, something.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like it happens. It definitely does happen.
Well, yeah, America especially.
I think the way that they structured that scene, it was just wrong.
Right.
It was so bad. But
pushed.
There's a scene
it was very pushed.
There's a scene in that it reminded me of. There's a scene in Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah, and Queen Latifah is supposed to be seen somewhat as a criminal, but she's trying to prove her defense. But it's hard for her to prove her defense because she's now brought into this white family, very, very rich, which is Steve Martin's family, and now she has to pretend like she's the nanny. But there's a scene where like this white lady comes because they're around the pool. The kids are at the pool. This white lady comes and she's like making assumptions because she's black. But what's funny about it is Queen Latifah goes back harder. And it's like she's making jokes that she's white and skinny. And it's just there's a playoff. There's a bounce back. And then later on they end up going and having a fight in the sauna. Where it's like it leads up to something. It's like this movie had nothing. It's just
proper story development. It's like scenes that lead to things. There's
development. Yes.
Yeah, there's something actually happening instead of
there's a development
just being lazy.
Where it's like back and forth. This lady just gone. She just said all this racist stuff and then just gone.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, they just tell you, Joe. They don't, the whole the proverb "show don't tell" in filmmaking.
Yeah.
In this movie, they just tell you that she just moved out of the neighborhood. In like off the cuff comment. Oh yeah, she moved out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, she moved to a more diverse neighborhood, something like that.
Yeah, like you were not going to do it. There's no repercussions for this woman who's meant to be like.
There's no.
She needs to get her ass beat for saying all those things. Like what?
Yeah. But there's a lot of scenes like that and a lot of plot points where we were watching it and we were going, wait, what? When did that happen? And they just tell you stuff, but you never saw it. Like they were like, oh, Mum, remember that time where you got followed home by the cops and this happened? And we're like, we didn't see that scene. Why are they just telling us a scene that didn't happen? Or like one of the storylines.
It's a lot of that. It's a
lot. That Zach Braff has invented.
So what you're telling me is I should definitely watch this movie.
If you want to be
best.
If you want to be
one of the greatest things I will ever see.
If you want to know that Black Lives Matter, watch this movie.
Good. Yes.
Basically.
We're not taking away from the message of the film.
Yeah, like we understand Black Lives Matter.
The fact that they were being
but
they weren't doing
it was heavy-handed and I think
example of showcasing what it's like.
Too late. I think it should have come out last year.
Yeah.
Even still, it was cringe. It's super cringe. I think
Black
even
Lives
on IMDb, it has a 2. It has a 2 out of 10 on IMDb. No, it's cringe.
Does have a 2 out of 3.
Doesn't matter what time it came out. It's super, super cringe. It's just
still a 2 out of 10
and I think the fact that I'm black makes it even worse because it's just like the audience. It doesn't make any sense for the audience because like as watching it as a black person, it's just showing that like, so white people are racist. Okay.
Okay, have I learned anything new, or is this
what more? It's not like presenting any new predicaments. Like for instance, an example would be white chicks. It's like they're playing a role on white people and black people, but the jokes are super racist on both aspects. It's like it makes sense because it's like,
and also the premise is that they're like pretending to be white chicks, so it's like the other white girls that are talking to them don't know that they're black, and so they're saying all this shit like in
it's like
confidence,
it's
like they're just
showing.
listening to the radio, just saying the N-word to like all the songs and stuff, and the whole time the two of them are just looking at each other.
Showing the views of both parties, right? This is just showing that white people treat black people bad. Like what? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like okay, at least show like.
Not well written.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess the message is just
There
not.
was a few moments where there wasn't really a clear message, because even what they were teaching the kids was like, oh, money can just solve your problems, money can make you happy, and it's like that's not really a good message either. And the absent dad of the black family, like he would just buy his kids gifts to think it was like, oh, that's how I'll solve the problems, and that's not really a good message. And I don't know, there wasn't. Yeah.
So yeah, they got.
But I feel like the original Steve Martin one had some heart to it, had some true like message. It had a message about the dad was always working, and he needs
the
to
amount of people.
Yeah.
That's what makes the premise interesting. Is this is a village. You're raising a village. This is crazy, Normally it's like, it takes a village to raise a child.
How does it function? Yeah,
that was raising a village.
That was the message. 100% of one. So much of the message is like that's how they function. And this wasn't showing how the family functioned. It's just showing how they moved from one house to another house, which is in a neighborhood that's a white neighborhood, which is like okay, fair enough.
And the whole message becomes
but that's
rather than
that's it.
Yeah. Oh well, that and
beyond that.
And now they have money.
Yeah. Money. So like, what could possibly happen in that movie? Just
right.
It's like, all of a sudden we're rich, so we're going to move to a nice neighborhood because we're rich now.
Yeah.
And what do you want? Do you want a new car, eldest daughter? Here's a car. With no we just bought you a car.
Dope.
And like,
the dad is like supposed to be like a deadbeat dad, but the dad is like talking about how like every time it's like, what do you mean? I don't understand how this makes any sense. Like he's talking about every time I get pulled over, I have to be scared. But he's like a famous NBA player that makes millions of dollars and is supposed to be absent to his children, but yet he's at the house 24/7 all the time. Their exes just live at their house. The exes are just always in their lives. It's like, why are the exes always here? Like, why is that? Because I understand they have joint custody,
actually
but it's like,
the message is trying to say.
Why are half of them not going with the mom and half of them not going with the dad?
It definitely would have had more impact if the black family's dad was barely in the movie.
Mm-hmm. But he
and then just showed up at the end for like a more climactic ending. But he was just he would just keep showing up throughout the movie, and it was like, oh, he's just always around as well.
It's like, what do you mean you're rich?
Yeah,
you're rich,
like all the parents on both sides are just always around.
Right.
And it's like, oh, this isn't really how it happens when couples
get
get divorced.
Well, if anything, they could have used that as the main new message. It's like the old message of the movie was, oh, look at this crazy premise. We have like 100,000 kids. So how does this function? We have to go through how you can show each kid love and show that they're a special individual, even though there's a dozen of them.
Exactly.
And then this new movie could have been like, oh, how do you have two families come together and still function with these exes that are still parents who love their kids or don't, or whatever the issues that might arise, and have that be the main message of the movie. Is like, okay, we still have the original message of the old movie, which is, look at all these kids. And now we have this new dynamic, which is, what do you do when there's new families? When you have a new mom, but you still have like the mom that you love. And so now you start playing off of that dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like that at all. It's like,
so the movie should have just been called
we adopted an Indian child, so let's put him in the school and look, his older white cousin is going to defend him and buy him shoes. It's like, what? It's like, what do you mean though? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
So yeah, I guess the true message here was just money.
I was getting really mad because a lot of the problems were just getting solved by money, and it was making me really mad.
So go get him, man. It's like, what are these Air Force Ones going to do with him? This is not showing him anything. Like,
he needs friends, he needs social.
He's getting bullied.
Show of a bond of them like wrestling, or like in the garage they're training every night wrestling, and at the end of the wrestling montage or whatever, say, just showing him how to be a little bit more of a man, defend himself. Sneakers. It's like, oh, thanks, bro. It's like, okay, cool. There's a little bit of a debate. No, nothing. He sees him getting bullied in school. Next scene.
Fine.
Here's some shoes.
To
Keep
solve
these
all
guys
your
off
problems.
you.
Next scene, punches the bully. End of story arc. Is that
Nice.
He's
His
suspended.
shoes taught him how to punch
He's
back.
suspended.
Yeah.
Also,
that was his true dad. Was the shoes.
one of the penultimate moments of the original
Such a horrible
was that the little redhead kid and his pet frog Beans.
Right.
I think he's called Beans.
Is
They go on the run because they're sick of everyone. All the other siblings are friends and pair up, and he's always left out on his own.
Yeah, and he feels
Like
alone.
the
His
lone-
parents aren't paying enough attention
And his
to him.
parents aren't paying attention to his siblings, so he goes running, and he ends up running all the way back home. And they all have to band together, and this is what gets the family back together. And it's a great moment, and they all go looking for him in this big moment.
Beautiful.
Somebody runs away in this movie. Instantly, Joe. Instantly,
No.
they go, "Oh, he's probably gone to that house that he used to live at." It's very complicated. This is the cousin that also lives with them, so he's not from the same family. He's the cousin, so he has a different house. So they're like, "Oh, he's probably gone back to his old house."
Yeah.
They immediately drive there,
And he's there.
and he's there. So the scene just
Neat
goes,
teamwork.
"He's gone missing. We found
There
him."
he is.
That's how quick it happens, Joe.
Come down,
Yeah.
come down, come down.
All the family say, "Come down." He goes, "Okay." And it's like there's no conflict.
No lessons learned.
Drama. There's no
Like they can't
Yeah.
even like say like you help me with this, you help me with that. They're trying to, but it's like there's nothing. There's nothing like, yeah,
No
the
connection.
family's not the same without you. It's just like, no, we need you to be part of the family. That's it. To make our family complete, we need you part of the family. That's the message.
And
But
he's
it's
just like, "Okay, then, yeah."
you're not offering
Yeah.
anything to the table. You're stealing from the
But
register.
just also
put
the
money
fact
back.
that they just found him instantly as well was just
Yeah,
so
that's
annoying.
It's
pretty.
like, put that money back. It's like, what do you mean?
That's depressing. It's like, okay, I came to watch this movie about love and family and connection, and how are they going to get through all these conflicts?
Yeah.
And instantly, every scene just ends.
Oh yeah, I remember
completely.
actually why he ends up running away is because the siblings assume with every right to assume that he stole
Yeah.
money, which he did steal money. So he steals money from the register. We're thinking, okay, he's gonna be like for a good reason because maybe his mom was like a crack mom or something like that, or a crack dad or something, and he's
The
trying to
mom's
like
a
save
crack
his.
dad, yeah.
He's just trying to like save his brother or something and save up money, get his mom out of jail or something, just something, save up some money to go somewhere. So he's
Yeah.
stealing money out of the register that these nice family offered him a job from. So one of the
Yeah.
boys see him stealing the money. Later on in the scene, the mom and dad give him money where like, I think the mom and dad, they get money for like keeping him or something. So like, say they get like a baby bonus or whatever, they get $100, they give it to him.
Yeah.
He's looking at this $100. She's like, oh man, I can't believe I took the money out of the register. Puts the money back into the register. So nobody sees him do this. So like
Right,
later
there's
on in the
no
movie,
consequences.
movie,
No lesson
they
learned.
go,
The
you have
lesson
all
learned
this
is
money.
just steal, but then put it back if you're given money. If
Yeah.
you're not, just keep it.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, but also importantly, Joe, only put the money back if you know people are watching you put the money back. Because no one saw him put the money back. They only saw him take the money out of the register.
Right.
They didn't see him put the money back in the register. So
Yeah.
well,
Hence, here we are.
so hence, what ended up happening is now the sisters are like, you stole money because our brother saw you steal money, and there's some money in this chest, all this money in this chest.
Oh, snap.
Parents are like, no, we just give him that money. So they're like, oh my god, we made the most horrible mistake. But it's like, he stole money.
No,
He
you were
stole
right.
money.
Yeah,
He stole money.
He
You
just
guys
put
were
it back
right.
and didn't tell you.
He just took, and he says that too. He's like, I put it back. It's like,
Oh,
and then he
God.
runs away down the street.
Oh man.
like, okay, honest thief, get the hell out of here. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just hate this. I'm like, I
It's a
hate this
mess.
movie.
I feel like I've now seen the entire movie. You guys just
Yeah,
went into
you don't
so
need to
much
see it
detail.
now.
I got so many
Yeah.
scenes out of that.
And also,
Well,
they
okay.
have this moment, Joe, where so he runs off. There's this the cousin who's the bad kid who steals. He
Yeah.
runs away from home,
Yeah.
and Zach Braff is like, "Oh, I'll go to the old house that he used to live at and see if he's there." Zach Braff leaves, and then the black dad, the ex, he comes in. He's like, "Oh, what's happening?" They tell him what's happened. They're like, "Oh, but Zach Braff's gone to go get him from this part of town." And the dad's like, "Whoa, white people shouldn't be going down that part of town. That's rough. Oh
boy.
no, let's all go down there together because Zach Braff's about to be in trouble if he goes down that part of town on his own as a
We
white
love
man.
segregation, don't we, folks?
So, and then Zach Braff gets there, and it's like a housing complex, and he tries to walk in, and there's this like thug, it's like, yo, what type of phone's that? And it's like,
I see
oh,
you got. No, he's like, who's up there? He's like, who's up there? Is that my friend? He's like, I see you got that iPhone 12.
yeah, like intimidating him, like, yo,
Like,
that's the
what?
good one, right? That's the new
Yeah, I
one.
don't.
And it's like, and Zach Braff's like oblivious to it because he's white and he doesn't know
He's like,
what the
oh
thugs
no.
are.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, it's just a new phone. Why don't you just have it? That sort of bullshit. But then the family immediately show up. Remember how I was saying like they immediately so everyone else just shows up all of a sudden like Dad, be careful. We've come to rescue you from underprivileged people and people of color. We've come to rescue you.
From scary poor people.
What is the message behind this?
Wait, what? Yeah, what's the message here?
It's just like, okay,
Funny.
so white people are just continuing.
Better stay away from poor people and just stay in their rich castles.
So like white people just
so
stay. It's like they didn't even blend the It's like the families were still segregated, even though they were a mixed family.
They've been together 10 years, but you're telling me that Zach Braff wouldn't know to avoid certain parts of town, or like wouldn't know how to handle interactions like that? Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a very different world. That's the thing. It's like I know it sounds weird because it's like black, white, whatever. Even like with like Hispanic and stuff like and Native, it's a very, very different world from just like being white, which is like they could have like really expanded so much on that, especially being young. Like
given that perspective, but it seems like they gave the white perspective of everything.
It's like they could have really just like taught kids that it's okay to be even like just white, black, any color. But
here I've got the fix, Steve. I've got the fix for it. Ready? Right.
Yeah.
So in this movie, the one that's on Disney Plus, like 10 years ago, Zach Braff, he's already got like 4 white kids. Gabrielle Union's got 2 or 3 of her kids, and then they get together and they have more kids. And then 10 years later, the movie kind of takes place. So some of the kids are now teenagers, some are like under 10, whatever. Here's how the movie should have gone down. It's set present day. Zach Braff is a divorcee, and he's got 5 white kids of his own. Some are teenagers, some are younger. Gabrielle Union, she's a divorcee. She's got some teenagers, some younger. And then they get together. And now we get to see Zach Braff learning about black culture through her.
Yes.
The kids learning to live with other siblings that are from a different family and are of a different race. And they're butting heads and they're mixing cultures. And they're, the white kids are hanging out with the black siblings, but they're going to the wrong parts of town with them. And then it's it's reversing. The black kids are hanging out with the white kids.
Show both aspects of their life.
Yeah, it's like, listen, if that's the message you're going to make Cheaper by the Dozen, have it be a race movie, then at least have it actually cover those things instead of just...
Like, don't set it already 10 years into the relationship and everything's like fine at this point.
It's like show us.
Struggle, show the
and have the ex-husband be the aggressor. Well, not the aggressor, but be kind of like an antagonist where he doesn't want her dating this white guy, or he doesn't want the kids being raised by a white guy. Have him come in early in the relationship and pushing against it. But that's not what we got.
But unfortunately, none of us were in the writer's room when it all went down. When all those people were high-fiving, snorting Disney Coke, Disney manufactured Coke off the tables.
Joe is implying that Disney uses cocaine. That does not reflect the views of everyone else on this podcast.
We all love Disney cocaine.
Disney, do not sue us. There's no cocaine at Disney.
Okay,
there is only fun at Disney.
That's right.
Love you, Disney.
Love you, Daddy. Love you, Big Bucks Daddy. Okay, so not reflecting Disney in any way, what are your final ratings of the new Cheaper by the Dozen, or just Cheaper? You give it 2 as well.
You're like a
2 stars.
10.
Yeah.
2 out of 10. Okay. Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
They get the 2 for just production. The fact that actors showed up.
There was actually a couple of moments where I did laugh.
Okay, nice. I got you. Yeah.
I don't think.
But there was so many plot and story inconsistencies and moments where we were just like, wait, what happened? What? Which I only wonder if because it was made during COVID, maybe some stuff got cut out.
Oh,
Because
maybe.
there really is moments where you go, huh? Like it's
All of a
like
sudden his hair grew.
they'll jump a story ahead so
Right.
much, and you're like, huh? Like it happens like 4 times, Joe. Where you're like, what? What do you mean
There's
that
going to be a
happened?
Snyder 4-hour cut that comes out in 5
Yeah,
years.
there needs to be.
Yeah.
So for that reason,
redo.
2 stars.
Yeah, nice. That's fun.
Yeah.
Dope. All right, there you go. So highly recommend it. I will be watching it tonight. In full, and then I got to rewatch it to make sure I fully absorb the message.
Yeah.
It's very clear and not scattered message, and it's very good writing. Lots to look forward to. I'll look forward to whatever that one joke is that shows up.
I can't remember what I was laughing at. Probably just a kid falling over or something.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hey, just some,
which joke?
Yeah, listen, a laugh's a laugh. I'll take one.
Which joke? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I was just saying that I laughed at a few moments. So it was probably just like someone falling over.
The joke that you
right, like someone just fell over and farted.
It was like a scene where like the cousin first is coming into the house.
Right.
So like essentially they have like an adopted cousin that is first coming into the home, and he comes into the house and the mom and dad are like, show your brother around or your cousin around. The kid's just like, you said make him feel at home, so I'm just gonna be sitting here lazy. No, show him around. Show him his room. Da, da, da. Takes him upstairs, shows him his room, gets an outside view of the other kids. This one's doing that. This one's doing that. But he's kind of talking in like a gangster, like druggy voice where it's like, or like you're in the cafeteria of like groups of kids.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's the scene. And then he points at the little kid. And he's like, that one there likes apple juice. And it's just like the little kid like drinking apple juice.
Oh, so it's supposed to be like a jail thing.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, they tried. They tried.
But it's like
they tried.
It was like Aidan laughed. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
The girl was cute. That girl was actually like she
was funny. Yeah. She was like a Nickelodeon Disney type kid.
She was like pulling the whole movie herself because the other kids just didn't have that it factor. That like a lot of kids have it factors. A lot of these kids did not have it factors where their faces are just you don't even remember them. There's 12 of them, and I remember every single one of the ones in the last movie. I remember every single one's face because they all were kind of famous in their own way. They all had their own style. They're all like just they gave them all their own like personal, individual, cool like storylines. I don't know. That kind of weaved together, you know what I mean? And that's why that one felt really left out. The redheaded one, he felt left out because everybody had their own little clique, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. Okay, there you go. So, do you guys feel richer by the experience or cheaper?
Cheaper.
Cheapened by the dozen. Yeah.
There we go. I guess mission success.
There we go. There's the title of the podcast: Cheapened by the dozen.
yeah. I'm thinking like just cheaper, or cheapened by the dozen. Yeah, actually, that's good.
Yeah.
There we go. Beautiful. Okay.
Hey.
Well, hey, listen, guys. We're nearing the end. However, we didn't go over finishing the cryptids. I'm sitting. It's been on my web browser for like a month.
God damn it, Joe.
Hey, that's what next week is for. Get ready. Cryptids Part 3 coming to a theater near you.
Isn't it Part 4?
I don't. At this point,
I think
know.
It's 3. I think we tried. We thought we'd do it in 2 parts.
We tried to 2-part it, but it didn't work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Part 3 on its way, slowly but surely.
Plug in, plug out.
But still, listen. It's important. It's important to talk about Cheaper by the Dozen. We have to spread the message that they don't have much of a message to spread. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good concluding message.
In our opinion.
Yes.
In a lot of people's opinion. I think on IMDb it has a 2 rating out of 10.
It does.
Yeah.
And a few thousand people have rated it.
There you go. Popular consensus. Demand.
Yeah.
It's just a horrible movie. Like, nobody cares. Let's move on. Like, bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids don't need this. We don't need this. Gabrielle Union shouldn't
society
be in this.
Worse.
And neither should this freaking Scrubs guy. The wrong guy for it. Wrong guy, wrong female.
You don't give dad energy the way that Steve Martin does. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Anyways, guys. Yeah. Plug in, plug out. You all do what you need to do. Sound off down below. Until next week, we shall hear and talk to you guys all again soon.
That's right. Get ready for it. Will we be back next week? Definitely, probably, most likely. Yes, we will. Okay? We'll find you guys next time. So until then, peace. Ooh, ooh. Au revoir. Bye bye.